For the last 10 years, I've had the privilege of meeting many, many people who I'm proud to say I have helped to be the best version of themselves and leave me with a new enthusiasm for life in general. You can only imagine the things I've been told over the years, which will always be between myself and my clients. But during these years, I've made many observations regarding people in general. It's amazing what I've learned about this. And in this video, I'm going to share 9 insights that I've made so far. The first thing is that the healing time differentiates between everybody. It's very easy for those of us who don't have really serious problems to not really understand what people are actually going through. And so what we automatically do, and can be excused for doing, is we evaluate the issue that perhaps one of our friends is faced with through our own eyes and not based on theirs. Therefore, something we deem quite insignificant because perhaps it wouldn't affect us too much in actual fact, can seem like the end of the world to somebody else. Therefore, something that you may say would take you 1 month to feel better about could take the next person 1 year. And this is so important to realize so that we stop judging others based on our own mindset. As this is my job, this is something that I automatically do. But unfortunately, most people around sufferers do not understand this, and therefore the sufferer is constantly judged wrongly. The next one is very simple. All people need sometimes is just somebody to talk to. This is obviously very sad, but in reality, people spend so much time in their own thoughts without airing their opinions or sharing their issues that in the end, it's too difficult to talk to somebody, and instead, they continue to exist in what can only be described as a living nightmare, a prison within their own minds. It's an often occurrence to see a client's face change as they unload all of their emotional build-up and negative layers that's been consuming them for days or weeks, months, and sometimes, unfortunately, even years. And the truth is, you don't need to be a good talker to be a good listener. So in reality, everybody is equipped to be able to listen to somebody without judgment, just simply trusted to listen and be there. The next one is we are always changing for the worse and the better. This is certainly true and very noticeable when you know people over a long period of time. A good example is when 2 people meet and get together in their early 20s and then realize in their early 30s they're actually completely different people. They've changed. They've evolved, maybe for the better, maybe for the worse, but either way, no one can ever know who we're going to be in 10 years, and then another 10 years, and then it goes on. Another point worth mentioning is that people can get stuck in a rut and start to identify as somebody who they are not. But when this is repeated day in and day out, they believe it and they live it, and they get worse because it defines them in their own mind, when in reality, it couldn't be any further from the truth. Next one up is that the smallest step can be the start of something huge. The biggest problem with change, I've noticed, is getting started. Just like any challenge before you, it can seem enormous, frightening, and often impossible. All that people need to realize is that you don't need to think about the big picture, the large goal, or the end result. It's all about those tiny steps to reach our destination, literally 1 step at a time. The most important step is the next one. The next one up is that if you speak to somebody who you've never even met before about your issues, then this is huge. I often used to say to people that came to visit me for help, just by being there signifies change, a need for change, a want for change, and this in itself produces change. I mean, who really wants to sit down with somebody they don't even know and share their emotions and their deepest, darkest secrets? When you take this action, it's normally because you realize that you are out of control and you need guidance and direction back to the path that you should be on. Next one up, everybody sees things differently. I think this is obvious, and yet I'm always surprised when people tell me something that doesn't really make any sense at all in my mind, but makes perfect sense in theirs. I think we can all be amazed sometimes with the different reactions people have to the things we do, and our reactions to what other people do. Because we all have our own morals and values, we all have standards that we like to keep, and we assume the people around us will keep as well. But this is a huge mistake, because we must remember that they also have standards that could be completely different than our own. It's easy to feel let down by somebody with lower standards, but in reality, they didn't do it on purpose. They just have a different framework for the world around them. This realization saves many arguments and problems in all sorts of circles: friendships, social, family environments, and of course, relationships. Next one up, we have no idea what anybody else is thinking or really going through. Another obvious one, and yet that's completely overlooked. The waitress that served you yesterday in the cafe could be just breaking up from her boyfriend and feeling like her world is ending, and yet you never know. One of your children's teachers could have had some horrendous news from the hospital and is completely worried out of their mind, and you would never know. Understanding this changes everything. We must be more kind to everyone, regardless of who they are and what they do. It's far easier to take a breath and count to 10 if somebody annoys you, rather than lash out, because perhaps any other day they would be peaceful. Next one up, belief and expectancy saves lives and changes everything. Normally, when I used to see clients all the time, they would first come and see me for a consultation and then book the first session to start 1 week later. Around 7 years ago, I decided to change things up a little regarding the way I would consult with my clients, merely as an experiment, just for me. I would listen to the client's story, and then I would feed them back the story, but in a different way. I would reframe the story. I would also then tell them about what their true identity is. But I would tell them in a very matter-of-fact way, very direct. If they suffered from anxiety issues, I would tell them this isn't really them. I would tell them the anxiety is an add-on, like a spoiler added to a car. I would tell them that we need to get them back to themselves, who they really are in reality, because that is who is inside. We need to get them back to their factory settings. I would then proceed to use examples of previous clients with exactly the same issues that I helped in the past. And now they feel amazing, with no problems whatsoever in their lives anymore. So I would get them to believe in a new identity and expect a positive result by working with me. And 9 times out of 10, when the client returned for their first session, they would actually tell me the strangest thing had happened. And I would smile because I know what they're going to say. The strangest thing happened because now they actually felt better already, before the first session has even taken place. Proving that what your mind can conceive, your mind can achieve, and they are the truest words ever spoken. Next one up, minds can be ruined by things that might never happen. What ifs can be the end of people. So many people these days live in a dream world, creating situations in their mind, scenarios with wasted imagination. Imagining the worst, focusing on something in the future that hasn't even happened yet and might not even happen, allowing these fake scenarios to run continually in the subconscious mind, fearful of the unknown. And of course, the subconscious mind loves this because the subconscious mind's job is to keep us safe. And you've convinced your subconscious mind that this is something worth worrying about. And therefore, the subconscious mind works in overdrive and allows you to think of nothing else. And here, the vicious circle begins. Breaking the negative patterns in your mind is the best solution. Redirecting your focus and teaching your subconscious mind what you want it to do, because it's your subconscious mind and you are in charge of it. Once you take back control of everything, once again, you can feel safe and therefore everything is manageable. And to conclude, everybody needs some help sometimes. Everybody needs to just feel safe. Everybody would love to see the world with a brand new enthusiasm whilst having a clear mindset. And this is imperative for a better future. And that's exactly why I created the All Access Pass, which allows you to use all of my hypnotherapy audios from my whole collection. Simply click the link below to find out more. Your mental health is as important as your physical health, and working on both every single day is the best way forward for all of us. And from all of us here at New Mindset Hypnotherapy, have a great day and thanks for watching.